Today we're going to be programming a radio. It's going to be a Yaesu FT7800, I believe. Let's take a look at it here and see what it is. We don't have the face, so we can't really tell what it is here. Let's go ahead and log on to the laptop real quick. Okay, the first thing we're going to need to do is install the software for this programming. The software comes on a CD, but since the laptop I'm using doesn't have a CD drive, we've went ahead and put the software onto a memory pen. So plug the memory pen in, find it, and once it locates the drive, we can go ahead and install the software. Now the software is copy protected. This is the only installation of this software we currently have. So we'll use the serial number. Okay, once you get your software installed,
what computer are you using over there, Carl?
Once you get your software installed, you'll want to take your cable that plugs into the back of the radio. If you see here, we've got a okay, you'll want to take your cable that plugs into the back of the radio. You see here we've got a standard serial port, and on the other end is the plug that goes into the back of the radio. Take the back of your radio, and I don't know if you can see this, but right in the back here is where your plug will go. So with the radio powered off, we'll go ahead and plug in this cable. We'll set the radio back down on the bench, and we'll take the other end of this cable, serial cable, and we'll plug it into the laptop. On the laptop, you'll see that we've got a serial port adapter because our particular laptop does not have serial ports built in. So we'll take our cable from the radio and mate it to the serial port in the laptop. And we'll do that like so. Okay. Okay, now we'll launch the application. We'll launch the application that we'll use to program our radio. And again, our radio is in Yaesu FT7800. Turn on the radio. And what we're going to do, we're going to grab all the information out of his current radio. The serial port that our adapter is on is port 4, so we'll select COM port 4, and we'll tell it OK. OK, so here's the instructions. Insert cable into the data jack in the back of the radio. We've done that. Number 2, press and hold the megahertz priority key while turning on the power. So we'll do that. Then we rotate the dial to F7 clone. Okay, so let's do that in megahertz. Okay, the instructions say to press and hold the megahertz button while turning the power on. Then it says rotate the dial to F7 clone. F3, F4, 5, 6, 7 clone. Okay. Press and hold band set key while clone mode begins. Press and hold band set key. we must be in clone mode, press the VFO memory key to start clone. Okay. Transmit. And if we look at the computer now, we'll see that it's receiving the data from the radio. Now, since we're doing this over a serial port, it's going to take a couple of moments. Okay, the clone is done. All the data has been brought into the laptop, and we'll go through here and see what the current programming of the radio was. Looks like there are quite a few channels in here. 73 channels have been programmed. It looks like we have the capability of 1,000 channels, plus we have upper and lower limits for the different bands. So this radio definitely will take quite a bit of programming. Okay, now that we've got our frequencies and channels all programmed up the way we want them, we're going to go ahead and try and write it back to the radio. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go up here. Well, the first thing we did is we actually saved our file. I saved the original one, and then I saved the one that we just created. Now we're going to go up here, and we're going to tell it radio and send data to. And here's some instructions again. Insert the cable, press and hold, rotate the dial. Okay, this is the same instructions we did. Press low to start clone receive. Alright, so we're going to go ahead, because we're already in clone mode from when we read the data. So we're going to press the low button and click OK to start the data transfer. OK. And as you can see, it's sending the data. So this should only take a minute or two. And what we're going to do is we're actually programming two radios today with the same programming. One's going to be for a bass and one's going to be for a mobile. And it appears that it's done. Now we're going to check the programming on our radio. We're going to turn the radio off to exit clone mode. We're going to turn the radio back on. And we're going to see where we are. Channel 1 looks to be correct. Oh, we have to go into memory mode. Channel 2, 3, and it looks like our programming has been a success. Okay, now we're going to take the data that we cloned into the first radio, and we're going to clone it into the second radio. So on the programming software, we're going to tell it radio send data to. Alright, and then it comes up with instructions on how to do this. Insert the cable into the back of the radio, which we've done just like on the first radio. Then it says press and hold the megahertz key while turning the radio on. So we'll push megahertz and power, and it'll come on. And you can see we're in a programming mode now, a power up mode. So now it's going to tell us to rotate the dial to F7, which is clone. And if you look here, we start on F1. So we're going to go 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 is clone. Okay. Next it says press and hold the band or the set key while clone mode starts. So we'll go band. Now we're in clone mode. Press the low or the ACC key to start clone receiving. So press low. And now it says RX because it's going to receive, and on the screen it says click OK to start the data transfer. So we'll click OK, and there it goes. And on the screen you can see that it is transferring the data. There's an indicator that shows the approximate percentage of the data transferred. And on the display you can also see there's a marker down below RX. I believe that's just your signal strength meter, and it shows as it receives. And it looks to be nearly complete. Okay, the receiving is done. We're back in clone mode, so now we're going to power it off. And we're going to power it on. And we learned from last time, it'll probably put us in VFO mode. So we'll switch to memory mode. And channel 1 is the channel 1 that we had programmed, 2, 3, and so forth. So it looks like our programming was a success.